Good afternoon. I'm Lideth Ortega Villalobos, psychologist at Counseling and Psychological Services. Welcome to our workshop, Ready for Finals. Today, I'll be sharing tips and strategies to help you adjust your mindset and reduce stress as you get ready for finals. So I'm going to share my screen. And start the slideshow. So you did not come this far to only come this far. So the goal of this workshop is to help you complete the semester and finish while also taking care of yourself. At times when we've been through a whole academic year or a whole semester, it may be normal to be exhausted, to not feel like working, to feel like we're too tired, and that we don't want to push ourselves. But it is what we do in these difficult foundational times that can become the building blocks of who we are as we pursue our dreams. So those are the words of the great basketball legend Kobe Bryant. So let's remember that you are in the final stretch. So in this workshop, we're going to talk about the importance of making good choices, how to maximize your opportunities to meet your goals, the fact that when we feel like quitting, it is important to connect with our reasons why we are doing this. What will finishing the semester bring, or what will it mean to you? And if that's hard to do, how do you want to feel about your effort afterward? Once you get your grades, or once the summer starts, what will it take for you to feel proud or for you to feel at peace and without regrets? We're also going to talk about reducing habits that could increase your pressure or stress. One of the biggest stress causes is thinking of everything we have to do all at once. So a first step to reduce our overwhelm is to begin to learn to break things down. Thinking of all we have to do at once could activate our stress nervous response, the fight, flight, freeze response. And once our body goes into survival mode, our stress hormones get activated, nervous anticipation could set in, and if it's a really stressful time, we may even have flare-ups of panic. Because we are reviewing everything we have to do in 1 minute or 1 moment, and it's hard for us to be able to trust, I'm going to get things done, or I have enough time to finish this, simply because everything is running through our mind all at once. So a way to overcome that is to stop, recognize we are feeling overwhelmed, we are thinking of everything, take a slow, deep breath, and observe our thoughts, our emotions, and focus on one thing at a time. It's important for us to break tasks into steps. Take the one thing you need to do, find the most manageable step, and go with that. It's also important to learn to write your to-do list strategically. Let me show you 2 examples. On the left side, you have one thing to do by May 8th. On the right side, you have a more detailed list, one that actually breaks down the materials for each chapter, that breaks down the tasks in different pieces so that they're easier to tackle and easier to accomplish. What you see is they provide specific spaces for us to mark when we're done, and a lot of motivational words celebrating the completion. Why is it important to write things down strategically? Because for us as human beings, we really like to build on our progress. Slow and steady often wins because it keeps us motivated. Take on manageable challenges and you'll get frequent signals of progress. Bite off more than you can chew, and our progress naturally stalls. When we make progress, we want to keep going. When we break progress, we want to stop. Even if you feel like stopping, it benefits you to keep going, and this is provided that you're healthy, that you're getting enough sleep. Keep going. Don't sacrifice your sleep. And this is an excerpt and quotes from the book by James Clear on atomic habits, which focuses on proven research-based ways to build good habits and break bad ones. Another thing that can help reduce stress in a time of high demands like finals week is to seek calm by creating a game plan. Stress is reduced when we have a plan that includes what's important to us. So take each task, go back from the date that is due, and break the work into parts. Be sure to give each important part some time. This will help you have a realistic idea of the time you actually have, and it will allow you to prioritize in a way that matters. It will allow you to set boundaries, say no to requests, make adjustments, or even ask for help if you need help from a classmate, an instructor, or if you need help from your employer in terms of time off to help you study. When you create a game plan, you also ensure that one class does not get sacrificed for another. Sometimes when we don't have a game plan, we may spend more time on a test that's worth 30% and sacrifice an assignment that's worth 50%. So a game plan allows you to make decisions with your eyes wide open. I encourage scheduling by the 2-week rule. Look at this week and next week and the things you have to do and set goals for yourself. This is a general schedule that focuses on what may be the tasks for morning, afternoon, and evening. I'm also going to show you a more detailed version for those that want a little bit more specificity and want to account for their days by 30-minute segments. Whatever your style is, whatever you choose, come up with a game plan that fits for you. We're going to go ahead and continue. Please keep in mind that balance is about timing, not intensity. It is not doing multiple tasks at 80%, but developing the skill of turning it on and turning it off. Sleep fully, then work intensely. Focus deeply while you're studying, then relax completely. Give each phase your full attention. Balance is about when to do things, not how to do things. And if these quotes connected with you, you can sign up for a free newsletter at jamesclear.com. And that's the link if you want to go ahead and receive those emails 2 times a month on Thursdays. We want to use our time wisely. A lot of us sometimes wish we had more hours in the day, but unfortunately we can't. We need to make the best with the time that we have, and we benefit from being intentional about it. That's, the concept you've heard, be here now. So as we're talking, set your intention for the next 20 minutes. Although your mind may be thinking of things you have to study or things you have to do, bills you have to pay, be intentional about actually listening and grasping things that could be beneficial to you. I'm taking time for myself because I care about myself. Everything else can wait. Setting our intentions is really important to do at night. At night, you can create a ritual where you close up your work and you say, I'm finished, I'm done, whatever word you want to use. But set your intention to rest without guilt, because rest can be really restorative. And you may actually have to say this to yourself mentally or verbally, whatever it takes for you to stop the day and give yourself a chance to have me time, to rest, to relax. If you do that and things are still running through your mind, because your mind is that sophisticated, it gives you things to do when you want to rest, you need to deal with that. Otherwise, those thoughts will continue to take away your peace. Do a inventory of the day. Today I worked really hard. I did what I could. I met these goals. So now I'm done. And write those things down that are crossing your mind. They may be good ideas about how to start the day. Say, to be read in the morning, write the tasks, close a notebook, and either put it in your backpack and close it, put it in a drawer, or if you must, put it out of your room. Then in the morning when you wake up, you look at that. If you create that ritual, your tendency to sit in bed when you're trying to sleep and running through your to-do list will be reduced over time. For some of us, our mind can be prone to overthinking. So it's really important for us to watch out about that. Thinking about a lot of things and being analytical can be a wonderful strength, but it can also be overused because it could take away our opportunity to have a one thing focus. Negative thoughts about the past or about the future can spark stress and can activate our fight, fight, freeze response. An example, if you had a tough time in a previous semester, just the memory of that may lead you to be concerned that that may happen again. Or if the thought of, what if I don't have enough time to study? Just that thought alone can create nervous energy because, you're not psychic, you're not able to know exactly if you're going to have enough time. So the key for us is to notice if we're having these thoughts that are worrying us and to choose to pause them, distance ourselves from them, and take action, sort them out. The idea is worry less and do more. If it's hard for you not to worry, then don't worry about things you can do nothing about. While you're driving, don't worry about writing a paper because you need to focus on driving. If you are caregiving, either babysitting or taking care of someone, and you are worried about something else you need to do, the sooner you focus on caregiving, the sooner you're able to then focus on your studying. So think, is there one thing that you are concerned about that you want to take more action on? So sometimes we want to do things that are helpful for us, but we feel frozen either because of fear or habit. So I'm going to introduce you to the 5-second rule. That is a rule developed by Mel Robbins. It's a simple rule, but it's not easy. It's a tool to help us get activated, take action, stop thinking, and start doing. I don't have time to show you the whole background behind the science of why this works. So I've added a link to this presentation that you can watch if you are like me and you want to know all the background of why this works. And I've also included the reference to her book, The 5-Second Rule, that was published in 2017. The reality is that for Many of us, we may never feel like doing the things that are helpful to us. So if we wait until we feel like it, we may miss out on opportunities. It is our job to parent ourselves. How do I do what I need to do? How do I do what is good for me? And as adults, that becomes our responsibility. Mel created this strategy because she found herself really stuck in her life and hitting the snooze button a lot in her alarm. She also recognized that when she did that, her ability to do things that she wanted, to make changes, went down. So she came up with the strategy of giving herself 5 seconds after her alarm rang, opened her eyes, took a breath, and counted down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and out of bed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action. Once she got to 1, she realized she had stopped thinking about the things that kept her in bed, like, I'm too tired, I need to snooze, 5 more minutes. She didn't close her eyes, she didn't stay there, she just got out of bed. She saw the effectiveness and applied it to other areas of her life. She started sharing it with friends, friends started sharing it with colleagues, eventually wrote a book that was a New York Times bestseller, and she's a motivational speaker. I'm going to play this clip for you on minute 140. And this is a publicly available YouTube video that's free for everyone, just for educational purposes. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I want to give you the disclaimer that Mel is a very honest speaker, and at times her choice of words may be a little strong, but it's also a sign, of her genuineness. So here it is.
You never feel like doing anything. You don't feel like doing your homework. You don't feel like going out. You don't feel like making your bed. You don't feel like saying hello to strangers. You don't feel like using your manners. You don't feel like cleaning your room. Good luck to you. So the only way to get what you want is to parent yourself, but I'm going to make it easy for you. We're about to move. You've learned a ton about the brain now. The brain is going to screw you over. The brain is going to go into autopilot. The brain is going to tell you it doesn't feel like doing things. It's trickery. You now know that. So how do you be effective with yourself knowing that you're never going to feel like doing all the work that it takes to have this business be everything that it possibly could? So you're going to use the 5-second rule. And what that means is this. From the moment that you have the idea, I should email out the fall collection. I should go through the contact list for my college or university and reach out to people. I should go through my contact lists and invite 23 people this week to just take the dogs for a walk. I should make a request of a friend and ask if I can come do a presentation at lunch at his law firm. From the second you have that idea, you've only got 5 seconds to take action. Otherwise, it's gone. Your brain will swoop in so fast, it'll be like, uh-oh, there's an idea. No way. No way. You don't feel like it. You're overwhelmed. You've got 5 seconds, and that's it. Today, I want you to practice this because what you're going to notice is you're going to notice a little bit later, like in the networking section and afterwards and in some of these events after this particular speech, you're going to notice that you have an impulse. You have an impulse to walk towards somebody that's really successful, that's built a team that could possibly help you. And guess what? You're not going to do it. You've probably had them the entire time that you've been here. Oh, I should go over and talk to this person. I'll catch them later. Oh, that person looks really interesting. I don't know. I should really take some photos of this fall line and start to, that might be too pushy. So what you do, how does it work? You have the thought, you've got 5 seconds, that's it. And what do you need to do? Just say something out loud. That's one way. You could start walking. The second you feel like you should meet somebody because you're drawn to them, again, it's from here, it's not from here, start walking. Because if you're already walking, the likelihood is you'll actually make it to them. And then you're going to say something. Write it down, schedule it, send an email to yourself, or make the request. One of the things that was so interesting about talking to Tara.
So we're going to go ahead and stop the video there. You will have the link. And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing so I can get back to the PowerPoint. But the whole point is to get to action. If you're thinking of an idea for a paper, but you're not ready to write it, create a zero draft. If you feel like you could ask someone for help on a question, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, write the email. If they don't respond, then at least you gave yourself a chance to try it. Please don't fall into the distraction and procrastination trap. It's important for us to correct our mistakes before they become a full habit. If you have been postponing, studying, or working on something, accept your situation where it is and give yourself the opportunity to make different choices. Be aware of the mental games that we play as people. Oh, I'm just gonna watch this show because I'm stressed out. And then we start the show, and it's one of those shows that's really popular. And when you least know it, it's been 5 hours, you've watched the whole season, and you're feeling regret because those 5 hours went to the show instead of what you needed to do. That's not guilt-free fun. After the 5 hours, you don't have a sense of accomplishment or completion. You may have less time and a little bit of regret. So don't play mental games with yourself. Try and be honest with yourself about your choices. You are entitled to rest, but also you need to take care of your priorities. Also be cautious of thoughts that we do to save face or overcompensate. Sometimes there's thoughts like, I work better under pressure, I'm a better writer when I'm anxious. Yes, you may be that. But if that thought becomes an excuse to not give yourself enough time to really attempt an assignment, that thought is creating an unfair learning experience for you or an unfair testing opportunity for you. At times it can be challenging. What if we are in a class where we don't feel that the faculty member is teaching how we like or how we prefer? Or what if that type of assignment or type of test doesn't fit our needs? Be careful not to say, oh, it's a test that I don't like, so it doesn't make a difference whether I study or not. It does make a difference. Give yourself the opportunity to gain as much knowledge as you can so that you can really have a fair chance. Postponing things reduces the time we have and can increase pressure, especially if we're those kind of people that get nervous about running out of time. Also, be really aware of your distraction magnets and limit them accordingly. Magnets are those distractions that are our favorite that we can reach to when we're feeling overwhelmed, uncomfortable, bored, or we're on the verge of giving up. In graduate school, my favorite distraction magnet was watching reruns of Friends. And I would just watch it, and when I was watching it, I knew I had already watched it. And somehow it seemed so enticing and exciting because it gave me the opportunity to distract myself from my dissertation. Let's just say my dissertation took a lot longer than I wish. So I wish I would have had this presentation to give me the idea that I could have put my magnets of distraction in check. Self-care is important even when you're busy. Check in with yourself daily. 1 or 2 minutes each morning. If you forget to do it in the morning, no worries. Whenever you remember, ask yourself, how am I feeling today? How is my body feeling? Am I well? Am I hungry? Am I tired? What do I need to take care of myself today? And also important, what do I not want in my life today? Are there situations or relationships that if you encounter them afterwards, you're not feeling like you're in the best mood or that you're feeling capable of doing things? So that if you know that you do not want that in your life today, it could allow you to, hang up quickly after your answer or send a call to voicemail and follow up with a text message saying, I'll call you on Saturday. When you say yes to others, make sure you're not saying no to yourself. Setting boundaries and saying no is a form of self-care. Things may sound good, but may not be good for you at this time. It's important to consider the consequences of saying yes to something. It's important to pause and recognize, does this fit with my priority? And remember that saying no to things that don't fit with your priorities is healthy. If you have a hard time saying no, you have two options. Maybe let me think about it, or I need some time. Remember that the people who tend to get upset when you set boundaries may be the people who benefit from you having no boundaries. Boundaries are a form of self-care. So sometimes it's helpful to express that you appreciate things, but to say no. I wish I could help you, but I can't. Don't feel pressure to offer an excuse or reason. You have a right to say no without an explanation or apology. This can be specifically hard for those of us that are really helpful friends. It may feel like saying no is going against our values as a friend, but those are two separate things. We need to remember that in order to be a helpful friend, you can't be pouring from an empty cup. Happy friends are friends that can help others for the long term. It's important to work through your own discomfort and not feel the pressure or compulsion to offer an explanation or an excuse. Learning to say no without apologizing could be difficult at first, but just like anything else, it gets easier with practice. Take breaks and rest. The academic hour was developed because of the acknowledgement that humans are not machines. We're not computers. We need breaks. Rest can give us increased energy and ability to focus. So for each hour, 45-50 minutes of work, you need to have a 10 to 15-minute break. Right now, if you're feeling a little bit more tired or having a hard time focusing, you may need a break before the 45 minutes. Keep in mind that you're always in charge, so you can say no to a break if you're flowing. And you know what I mean by flowing. There's certain tasks or reading or classes where it may take 15 to 20 minutes to really get into a flow of reading or understanding or a flow of problem solving. So if you're in the flow, you can keep going. The key is to notice your level of energy and act accordingly. When you rest, you may be able to introduce movement, stretching in your chair, rewards, sometimes a creative activity in our breaks. At times when I was writing, I would find that if I doodled or painted or colored, somehow when I came back to my writing, more ideas were flowing. So accomplishing things gives us guilt-free fun. A good night's sleep in between study sessions can also help with our memory organization and consolidation. For example, if you only have 60 minutes to study for something, studying 30 minutes today, getting a good night's rest, 30 minutes tomorrow, can lead to more memory consolidation than if you just studied 60 minutes right the day of the test without sleep. There's a lot of research on that, so go ahead and look it up if you want to know the background knowledge. If you're not sleeping or resting, please know that you need to make it up, or you will feel it in your body. So please make sure that you make plans to sleep in or take naps, or that you don't plan really packed days if you couldn't get enough sleep. Nurture your mind and your body, because these are your instruments. Exercise just 20 minutes per day of an activity that increases your heart rate. Doesn't have to be going to the gym. It could be exercise that you do at home. Regular exercise helps you burn stressful energy, and it also gives more oxygen to your brain, so it makes learning and memory more efficient. Nurture your mind and body. You'd never think of driving a car without gas, but sometimes, especially when we are feeling anxious or we have a lot in our mind, we may even forget to eat. So remember to eat a snack or small meal every 3 hours. Please limit going over hungry, because that could also activate your nervous system. And drink half of your weight in ounces of water. For most of us, that's still 8 cups of water. Aim for 8 hours of sleep, because that gives you the opportunity to get a number of dream cycles in there. And those are really good for our mood, our immunity, and our memory. Make time to relax. And also make sure you're noticing and dealing with your feelings. Sometimes when we have a feeling on a certain day, either we're feeling low or we're feeling irritated, that may color our perspective, and we may forget to nurture our mind and body. Reduce mental pressure. Reduce unfair comparisons to others. Looking at yourself and saying, oh, it took me 2 hours longer to complete a problem than my classmate. What if it took you 2 hours? You learn the problem, you learn the strategies, you have the knowledge forever. Looking at their time frame and yours and feeling less than because yours is different is not fair to you or your learning process. I'm hearing a lot around school these days. People who are taking a little bit more than 4 years or 5 years to graduate, looking and saying, what's wrong with me that I have this timeline? Our life experiences are different. Comparing yourself to somebody else may not be fair to you due to the challenges and barriers or privileges that you may or may not have. So focus on comparing yourself to you and your own growth. Give yourself a chance to be where you are. It's also important when we are dealing with a lot of demands to visualize positive outcomes. I don't know my grades. I don't know what my grades are going to be, but I know that I will work hard and I will do the best I can. Seek support from those who believe in you. If nobody's available, if the people around you are either competitive or not encouraging, you need to do that for yourself. I will do this. I will fight for myself. I will be successful. Give yourself credit for past actions and past things you've done that have prepared you for this. You've never written a 12-page paper, but you've written 3-page papers, 5-page papers. Apply that knowledge and skill to help you believe you have what it takes to get it done. Recall past proud learning moments. A lot of times when we are facing something new, we may feel like, am I going to be able to do it? Am I going to be okay? So in these moments, it's really important to remember times in the past where you've struggled but also persevered. Think of the things that you did that helped you overcome the struggle. Was it that you believed in yourself? Was it that you kept working even though it was uncomfortable? Was it that you learned from your mistakes? Remember the strengths and experiences you have, because those can help you succeed now. It's also important to make time to relax. Deep breathing is the most efficient, free way of relaxing our body and calming our nervous system. We want to take deep diaphragmatic breaths that allow our lungs to fill. Some people call it belly breathing. So we can use counting to help us do this. 1, 2, inhale. 3, 4, hold. 5, 6, exhale. And do that until we find a manageable pace that works for us. The number of breaths it will take to calm and relax your body depends on your nervous system. So at times it may take 3 breaths, at times it may take 1 minute of breathing. You can couple the deep breathing with guided imagery, using your imagination or your memories to put yourself in your favorite place, your favorite beach. Take yourself there. Think of the sounds, the scents, the sights, and bring yourself there. You can also use music. Sometimes music can be a wonderful way to help us calm down or to shift our mood state. Find out what kind of soothing music helps you. There's a lot of playlists on Pandora, YouTube, Spotify that can be beneficial for you when you're trying to get through long study days. Find a song that calms you down. And also find 1 or 2 songs that pump you up, that are motivational, that are your fight song, that help you keep going even when you feel like giving up. Create rituals. Warm bath, decaf tea, closing off, putting your books away so that you know it's your time for you. Energizing rituals in your breaks during study time. If you're someone that carries tension in your body, like in your neck, shoulder, take advantage of stretching and self-massage just to help your body manage the increased demands. Remember the things you did as a kid that helped you have fun. Like, was it playing Mario? Was it coloring? Using bubbles? Was it playing a certain game? Take advantage of opportunities to relax by having fun. Breath can also be a very powerful tool. Belly breathing, or a really nice extended exhale. And you can exhale through your nose or through your mouth. Both are helpful. If you want to energize yourself, cover your left nostril and breathe with your right nostril. And if you're left-handed, then switch it up. Alternate nostril breathing can help us balance when our mind is too active and all over the place. I've included some mindfulness meditation resources. And I also want to share the words of wisdom from a faculty member about spring 2020. This was shared by Victoria Bassar in Faculty Affairs. And she was really touched by the words that this faculty member shared with their students. Keep it in mind. Keep in mind that this has been an out of the ordinary semester. There's a lot that's been managed, and struggles are valid and reasonable. But also remember to not give up on yourself and to believe in yourself, because these circumstances don't define who you are as a student. After finals, plan what you're going to do to celebrate. What are you going to do to thank yourself, to appreciate yourself for your hard work? Some important points, as you know, this workshop is not therapy. If you feel like some of the stuff we talked about is areas that you want to talk to a counselor about, please contact CAPS. If it's after hours when you're watching this workshop, you can also call our number, and when the voicemail answers, press option 2 to get support from our after hours counseling. If you're curious about what we have to offer, don't hesitate. Please take action. Visit our website. If you are concerned about your well-being and you're having thoughts of hurting yourself, please ask for help. Call the After Hours Crisis Counseling hotline, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. If you don't feel like you can keep yourself safe, please call 911 immediately to get help. Your life is precious and you need support. there's an optional presenter survey, and that is it for the slideshow. I want to thank you for your time, and I want to wish you a gentle and doable final season. And thank you, and I hope some of these strategies will be helpful.